Financial literacy is very simple. It's when you earn income, it's what you do with that money.
The only way, the smart, simple, inexpensive ways to build credit is secure loans. Are we familiar with secure loans? Pretty much, you're showing the bank your ability to save. It could be as small as $500, $250. The bank is gonna take this money from you as good faith that they can give you a loan and this is your collateral. I hold your 500, I give you 500. And I want you to pay that. Your payment history, typically they want to see 12 months. My name is Michelle Davidson, and I'm just in a place in my life that I'm on assignment. And my assignment is to empower communities and individuals to maximize their potential in the area of finances and in every other aspect of their lives. And financial literacy for me is a great piece of the pie in helping people maximize their potential. We haven't been empowered with the knowledge to be successful in these areas, and we're lacking or lagging behind our counterparts. So it's very important to come into the community and work with organizations such as this to bring the information and empower the women and the other people that makes up this community to go far and to do all that is possible for them.
With consumer rights comes consumer responsibility. And just as we have these rights in terms of, what happens in terms of being able to be in the banking, we are protected with FDIC insurance. We also have the responsibility as a consumer to understand and know, what does it mean when you're getting a mortgage? What does it mean when it says 30 years you're paying this amount? What does it mean when you're paying interest? How does that work out? How is that calculated? Really to understand from a money perspective what you're spending or what you're earning, and how does that impact you in terms of your income? How having having a CD account where for placing in a certain amount of money for X amount of months, you will be paid, the bank will give you X amount of money, and how that can, in a sense, supplement your income. So from that particular perspective of being responsible about your own financial well-being, in order to be responsible for your own financial well-being, you have to understand and know what it is that you're dealing with here. So you need to understand those terms, those rules. You need to understand in terms of a budget, how to realistically look at your spending habits, look at what you're paying for, and maybe you need to reduce your spending, maybe you need to increase your income. Look at your savings account. Most banks advise that you have at least 3 months worth of expenses in a savings account. Well, if you don't even know what your expenses are, how can you possibly put away and be prepared for a short-term emergency situation where you need those funds? So you have the responsibility to be in charge and control of your own financial life and well-being. So that's why it's important that you understand and have those general banking basics so that you're on the path in terms of being empowered to manage your own particular financial affairs and have that security and that safety and that peace of mind. If something were to happen, you have some sort of preparedness available for you in your financial life.
I'm Gertrude Jones. I work for the largest healthcare system in Rhode Island, and I'm the Vice President for Community Relations. Financial literacy is akin to language literacy. So you might be able to speak a language but not really understand what's a noun or a verb or an adjective and how language can be used. So I think that for financial literacy, it's basically the same thing. What are finances? What is credit? What is insurance? What are investments? Banking, retirement accounts? What is the knowledge, and what are the terms and knowledge that you need to know about each of those things, which makes you more literate. So just like when you go to school, so you can learn English better and how to use it in different places, how to speak and present yourself, how to obtain a job. The same thing with money. So I think it's real important that we try to get that information that the majority folks have down into the minority community to make it more of an equalizer, so that if people of color and people who are from the low-income areas have never experienced or have anybody in their families who have large amounts of wealth, they don't know how to get it and keep it. I think that lots of money comes into our community, but it doesn't stay in our community.
My name is Garfield Davidson. I'm a financial advisor, registered rep with Barnum Financial Group. We're a financial planning office of MetLife, located here in Warwick, Rhode Island. Wealth creation essentially as a concept is making sure that we protect what we have and grow and accumulate what we have. So the idea you are to incorporate protection planning, but also incorporate growth and accumulation planning. The two have to go side by side and hand in hand and work together in order to truly become wealthy or create wealth. And wealth is a very vague term, but it's at the end of the day, it's your situation, your circumstance, and if you feel you're wealthy, then you're absolutely wealthy. How I would break it down is just understanding how to allow and make your money work for you. Because I'm first generation here in the States, and there was just a certain financial education component that was missing. There was a disconnect. My dad started contributing to his 401k very late in the game. My mom never contributed to hers. And for them, they just didn't see the value. They didn't understand how it worked. Having that financial education, you know what a 401k is, you know the pros, you know the cons, you know the benefits, you know the features. And that it doesn't end there. There's such a myriad of products in the financial services industry that can benefit us if we know how to use them and how to use them properly. So if someone gave you a butter knife to cut steak, I mean, at the end of the day, you know you got a butter knife and you're going to try to cut that steak, but would you be better suited with, an actual steak knife? Absolutely. And with financial services and products, there are certain products and services that are more suited for certain needs than others. And the idea is being able to navigate through that. If you have financial literacy, even from a basic standpoint, you can start to put yourself in the right position to make better decisions. An educated decision is always the best decision in my opinion. And if you have education behind it, you'll be able to make the proper steps to move forward and truly build your wealth and become financially literate.
Your ability to continue working and earning an income is your biggest asset. It's nothing tangible. It's your ability to continue working and earning an income. So the idea is if you find yourself sick or injured, how many folks know someone here who went on vacation, skiing, jet skiing, paragliding, whatever the case may be, did something and had a freak accident and came back in crutches? Okay, you know someone. Out of work for how long? So you're out of work, first thing they cover or they take, sick time. You can use that. And if you're still sick or unable to go back to work, vacation time. But now what happens when you've used that up? The company says, whoa, what are you gonna do? You gonna come back to work? You say no, okay, that's all right. We'll try to hold your spot for you, but we're not paying you.
You know, I'm still a student of the game. I feel in any profession you should always be a student and learn as much as you can, and then as a result sometimes you transition to become a teacher or a professor and bestow that information and education and knowledge onto others. But me particularly in our community, I'm a prime example. I graduated from Brown, but I graduated with 2 credit cards with $2,000 balance on each one, maxed out. So I graduated 2 steps behind the average college graduate, who some of which were fortunate to have parents who had jobs lined up for them or had funds lined up for them. I didn't get a college windfall of cash when I completed college or graduated. I had to go out and find work. And not only that, I had student loan debt, but on top of that, I had credit card debt. Why? Because I didn't know how to properly avoid some of the pitfalls. So at the end of the day, our community is sometimes targeted for that. Sometimes we just don't know, and it's trial by fire. And when it's all said and done, we learn from our mistakes, hopefully. But at the end of the day, if someone were there to tell me, hey, you don't need that credit card, or have one and just be mindful of it, make sure you're able to pay it back, that would have been information I could have used and hopefully would have adhered to. I know when you're young, sometimes you just don't listen to advice. Good advice is only good if you use it, and back then I knew everything else, and if yours didn't jive with what I was thinking, I didn't use it. But if there was someone there who would have been able to bestow some of that information and knowledge on me, I certainly think it would have been helpful, and that's where I fall right now, is especially within the urban community. There's a lot that we need to learn. The John D. Rockefellers of the world, that family is all set for life because one man put the right things in place. The Andrew Carnegies of the world, the J.P. Morgans of the world, at the end of the day, they're taking care of their family, but how are they doing that? By having their money work for them. And that's one thing we don't do often enough because we don't know how, per se. And hopefully events like this will continue to educate our folks. We don't learn it in school, we don't learn it in college, we learn it trial by fire, or if we're fortunate to have family that know and understand it and can explain it to us. Beyond that, it's sessions like this and workshops like this where we can learn.